Good morning, Kasturians. So today we will be studying this chapter electromagnetic induction, and particularly the topic that we will be discussing is electromotive force, or we can say EMF. Okay, so let us start. Okay, first of all, let us consider that we are having a P, Q, R, and S. We are having this loop, and this is a conducting loop. Okay, now what we have to consider next, that this PQ, this is a conducting arm. Okay, this PQ, and what is happening here is that this PQ, it is moving inwards with velocity v. Okay, if it is moving inwards with the velocity v, what is happening, as you can say, this PQ, it is a conductor, and what is as it is moving inwards, what is happening, the area of this rectangle, that is P, Q, R, and S, this area is decreasing. Okay, as this area is decreasing, so as this area is decreasing, and we have also considered that see, what are these cross dots, what are they indicating? They are indicating that the this magnetic field, we are having a uniform magnetic field across this rectangular conducting loop. And what is the direction of magnetic this uniform magnetic field? It is what does these cross indicates? They indicates the direction inwards into the plane of paper. Okay, now as this velocity is we can say, with the velocity this arm is moving, so area of this conducting loop is decreasing. And how do we define magnetic flux? It is defined as magnetic field crossing through a particular area. Okay, and now we can see this magnetic this area is decreasing, so we can say this flux is also decreasing, so there is some change in flux. Okay, so there is some change in flux. So what happens when there is change in flux? We already know d that is EMF is equals to minus d phi by dt. Okay, so what do we understand from here? That if there is a change in flux, so an EMF is we can say EMF is induced, which is having the direction, which direction? It is having the direction opposite to the cause of the cause which have produced it. Okay, so what we can say, now an EMF is induced in this coil. Okay, so due to induced EMF, so there must be some we can say there's some current produced in this coil. Why? Because there is some now we can say induced EMF which is set up across the ends of this conductor PQ, and an EMF is induced across PQ, so there will be a flow of current in the circuit. Okay, and the direction of flow of current, as you can see, is P along PQ, R, and S. Okay, now so how we can find out we can say the direction of induced current in the circuit? How we can find out? We already know about Fleming's left hand rule. We know about Fleming's right hand rule. Sorry, right hand rule. What does that say? If we are having, what does Fleming's right hand rule says? It says that if we stretch the first three fingers of our right hand perpendicular to each other, so and which finger is facing which side? This forward finger, it is we can say the forefinger or the forward finger, this finger, it is in the direction of magnetic field. Okay, and the we can say the central finger gives the direction of current. Okay, central finger is in the direction of current. So how we will find the direction of, you can say, motion of the conductor? How we will find? Then the thumb gives the direction of motion of conductor. Okay, in this loop also we can apply this Fleming's right hand rule. We can the forefinger points in the direction of magnetic field inside, and like this we can apply the Fleming's right hand rule and check the direction of current. Okay, or the motion of the conductor. You can easily find out the direction of motion of conductor from this rule. Now see, we have considered length of this conductor as x, and we can say see, length is considered as L here, RS, and this breadth is considered as X. Okay, now as we are saying that velocity is decreasing, so this X side is also decreasing. There is change in X. Okay, so how we can write the flux? Phi is equals to B dot dA. What is A? A here is L into X. Okay, and how do we define this? How do we define EMF is equals to minus d by dt. Let us put the value of phi, which is B L into X. Okay, now what we can do next is that, see, we can put this B, it is a uniform magnetic field, we can put it outside, and this length, it is also constant. So what we can do, E is equals to minus B into L and d by dA and dt of X. Okay, now this d by dx, this is change in we can say change in position, or change in position of this is change in position of this PQ conductor. Okay, and what is the direction of change? It is we can say direction, it is we can say that this X is decreasing, so we can say the direction is towards the, we can say, decreasing change. So what we can say that minus d by dx, what we can consider to minus d by dx as v. Why? Because velocity is equals to change in position with respect to time. Okay, we already know this, so we can consider this. And now what will be the value of EMF? It will be minus we have included here. Okay, now it becomes B L into V. Now this is the formula for induced EMF in this coil. Okay, so now how we can define this? We can define this EMF. How we can define it? We can define it as the magnetic force on a moving electron, or we can say on the moving side of PQ, which maintains a potential difference, and also it produces some EMF, which is this, is equals to BLV. Now if we are having EMF, we also must be having some current induced in the circuit. So how we will find the current induced in the circuit? As I is equals to E divided by R. As we already know that V is equals to IR. Okay, so we can find the value of current as E divided by R, that is induced EMF, or we can say the potential difference that is developed across this P and Q arm. Okay, so we can find we can simply put the value of BLV in this equation, and what do we find? BLV divided by R. Okay, so this is the value of current that is induced in the circuit. Now let us find, so okay, there is some current, so there must be a force. Okay, there must be force that will be applied to this PQ arm. Okay, so to maintain this motion. Okay, so for this motion, so how we will find this force on this movable arm? Okay, we already know that this PQ arm that is moving, it is equals to L, the length is equals to L, length of this arm, and now I is the current experienced by the arm. Current experienced by the arm, and this force, we already know that this force is perpendicular to magnetic field. Okay, we already know this thing. Why? Because field is perpendicular, we can say, into the plane of paper. So, and we already know that what will be the value of force we can get from this formula, BIL sin theta, force on the moving conductor when placed in magnetic field. We already know about this, and here theta is equals to 90 degree, so we can put sin theta as sin 90. What do we get? F is equals to BIL. Why? Because sin 90 is 1. So okay, so now we can now put here the value of I from the above equation. So what do we get? B and L as it is, and what we can put the value of I as BLV divided by R. So now what will be the value of force? What will be the value of force? Force becomes B square L square V divided by R. Okay. Now what will be the power? That will be we can say the power that is delivered by the external circuit. What is this power? This is the power that we can say the energy that we give to this PQ arm, so that it moves inside. For the motion of this, we can say motion of this movable arm, we are applying some, we can say we are applying some energy, so, or we can say some power. So how do we define this? Power is equals to force into, we can say, velocity, or change in the distance per unit time. Okay, so how we can find? We already know what is force. Force is equals to B square L square V divided by R. Okay, and now here we have to multiply with V. What now? What the formula for power becomes? B square L square V square divided by R. Okay, now this is the force that is applied to the external circuit. Okay, now we have to find the power which is dissipated, means the power which is lost, as we can say Joule loss. So power, we can say power dissipated, or we can say Joule loss. This we have to find out now. So we already know from Joule's law of heating, what is the value for this power? Power is equals to I square R. Okay, and now we already know the value of I, that is B L V divided by R, and here we are having square of I, that means this. Now R. Now what do we get the value of power? Power is equals to B square L square V square divided by R. Why? Because here we are having 2R, and one R and 1R gets cancelled. We get the value of power as this. Okay, now let us find. Okay, now see this. We are having this loop as this only. Here we are having P Q R and this S. Okay, now the current, the flow of direction of flow of current is this. Okay, now see, this power is lost. How we can consider this? See, this is power loss as heat, so there must be some resistance. So we can consider this movable arm as a combination of, we can say, as a combination of resistance, and also as the we can say some current is flowing through this. So there must be a, we can say, battery type of thing. Okay, so this is how we can consider this movable arm. Why? Because this is also having some resistance. So we can consider this is how we are having some power loss. Okay, this is the main reason we are having the power loss, because there is some resistance in the moving arm. Okay, we can just equivalent and try to understand this. Now let us understand the relation between induced charge, that is what induced charge, and magnetic flux. Okay, so we already know the value of EMF is equals to d phi by dt, the magnitude. Okay, and now what is we can say, what is the induced charge? It is equals to EMF by resistance, and from here only what we can write this, how we can write the current as rate of flow of charge. So dq by dt, and we can substitute the value of E. What is the value of E? d phi by dt. Okay, and R we can write as it is. Okay, so dt and dt, they get cancelled. What do we get? dq is equals to d phi divided by R. Okay, this is the relationship that we want to find out between the induced charge and the magnetic flux. Okay, so how we can write it? We can write it as induced charge, or we can say charge induced, it is equals to net change in magnetic flux. Net change in magnetic flux we can denote by phi, and per unit resistance. Okay, so if that is understood, so that was all for today. So thank you.